Okay. Welcome to another interview. For this interview, I'm with Gene Ligon. I'm sorry for. Did I mispronounce your name? Ligon. Gene Ligon. Thank you for joining me. So normally how I start off interviews is letting the guest fill in, fans who may not know who he is, like how he got into the business, if he was a fan growing up, etc. So take the ball.
All right. Well, I'm Gene Ligon. I was raised in Charleston, South Carolina, until about 16 years old. Born in Florida, moved director, Charleston. And since I was like a little boy, all the way to Charleston area, I was raised up. I just watched Channel 2, Crockett Promotions. Just watching Bill Ward, the commentator, did a great job. And I watched wrestling every week and loved it. I thought, man, I'm going to be a wrestler one day. And never really thought I would. But, it's like a thing you hear. And my dad had business as a pharmacist, and finally he got a job, and an opportunity to go to Salisbury, North Carolina. He moved to Salisbury. We came up about 9 months later. We were still in school, trying to finish out school year. Moved up there, went to East Rowan High School in Rowan County, about Salisbury, just north of Charlotte, North Carolina, about 35 miles. And went to school there, and then went to Gardner Webb. Graduated there with a degree in physical education, health, BS degree, Bachelor of Science. Taught school for a couple years. Jobs for me cut back quite a bit because of educational cuts and everything, so I lost my job. You have to work at least 5 years to keep your job. You have much more tenure. And only had 2 years in, so doggone it. I was about 160 pounds, but my second year I was teaching, I was a wrestling coach, and all my kids I coached, you go to do wrestling, we all love watching pro wrestling. And I was one night watching TV, and there was a group called the International Wrestling Association, and it just came into the territory. And all we ever knew was the NWA Jeff Crockett Promotions. We thought that was all there was. There was Georgia State Wrestling, there was Florida State Wrestling, but Jim Crockett had the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. But this dude would come in and ask you fellas, Neil Mascaris, Johnny Powers, Bulldog Growler, Dino Bravo, all these guys I've never seen before, but they were excellent. And so they had an ad put up, said, you want to be a wrestler? Come up to Memphis for a tryout. So I called them the number and posted. They said they don't have a tryouts on Sunday. You had a tryout arena in Hot Point, so I had no idea where that was. There was no internet, so we had to look on a map, try to figure it out. So went up there, got there, met a guy named Chuck. Seemed like a real nice guy. He was just a guy like me, you're a wrestler. There was another guy that was just a big old guy, 400 pounds. He was sitting outside just being mean. I'm a kind of easygoing guy. I'm not looking to fight it. This guy looked like he was going to tumble with something. So we go inside, there's about 40 guys there trying out. They just pick each other up, slam each other a few times. After a few of those, some people decided to leave. Started leaving a little bit by a little bit by a little bit. It was down to about 15 guys. And one was that big old guy. And Johnny Powers looked over at me and said, you. I mean, get in the ring. Big old guy, little old guy. I'm 160 pounds. How much you weigh?
Same, 160.
I was about your size. But I wasn't wrestling. I still wasn't. I was doing it. 400-pound guy's big. He said, what you want to do, I want you to charge the guy. He's going to be in the corner. He'll stick his foot up, put it in your chest, and we'll see how well you fall. Okay. I got on one end of the corner. running full blast towards him. He puts a foot up, right in my mouth. Boom, Instagram. Now, I don't know whether he did it on purpose or not, but he kind of giggled. It kind of got me upset. So I looked at Johnny Powers and said, Mr. Powers, you have him charge me. You want to do that, guys? Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. I was a gymnast in college, so I could throw my feet out with a nice straight lever, body be flat. You come charge up, throw both feet back in the steps. Take it all down, you hit the ground, eyes roll back. I went, oh my gosh, I've killed him. I didn't mean to hurt him, but he stood there and shook his head a little bit, got up, apologized for the hit. Turned out to be one of the nicest guys in the world. He was just trying to be a tough guy because he's afraid of what's going on around him. And that's how I got into wrestling. And about 3 weeks later, we're tryouts. So it's okay, Mr. Gene, we want you to be a wrestler. We want you to train. It's going to cost you $1,500. I was a school teacher. School teachers grossed $800 a month at that time. So $1,500 is almost 3 months take home pay. Ain't gonna happen. I got $1,500. So I told myself, well, thanks, but no thanks. So I left, went out my way. July, got a phone call from Johnny Powers. Now, I know Johnny Powers may not seem like anybody now, but it's sort of like having Ric Flair calling you on the phone. Or The Rock calling you on the phone to ask you to come back. Johnny Powers says, we got a match tonight in Roxborough, North Carolina. That's my very first professional. And little high school team. Not even high school, it's elementary school. I want you to come on up. How about bringing your friend Chuck with you? So then I called my friend Chuck. Chuck, Johnny Powers wants us to come to Roxborough. I said, what for? I said, he wants us to wrestle. Who are we wrestling? I don't know. So we get in the car and we're heading that way. So me and Chuck all along the way, we're thinking, what if we have to wrestle two big, strong guys? Well, I had a little something on my side. Chuck was a boxer. Chuck could fight. Me, I can wrestle. So I said, okay, you knock him, I'll take him down too. Okay, so we got this all worked out in our head. But then we said, well, wait a minute, what if they got us wrestling each other? Now, neither one of us know one thing about the business. All we know is what we saw on TV. Chuck was a boxer, never wrestled a day in his life. Me, gymnastic-wise, I could do all the flips and everything. How do you do it? So we get there, and sure enough, they took Chuck to one room, took me to another room. I said, okay, y'all on first. So my wrestling Chuck. Okay, I guess you're thinking we knew what we were doing. We have no clue. But on the way up there, we had talked about it. So listen, we'll get there and beat on each other like crazy. You throw a bunch of your punches at me, I'll shoot wrestling matches at you. Boom, boom, boom. At the end of it, he said, you flip over the top and land on top, and flip me over and come back and sunset flip. I said, okay, it's how I do the ring. So, sure enough, we get in the ring, going about 20 minutes, just wearing each other out. He's throwing punches, I'm throwing belly punches, all this stuff. We're so tired. We're exhausted. Finally, he said, I'm tired. I said, let's do it. So he reached over top rope, hold on, and I jumped over, rolled up, okay, 1, 2, 3. We crawled out of the ring, but he didn't hardly raise our hand. So I crawl out of the ring, go back to my dressing room. They say you did a good job. And we did this for 20 more matches over the next few weeks. Not knowing one thing we're doing, but we've got the big boys fooled into believing we know what we're doing. Then finally one night, he said, Gene, you're going to wrestle against Rip Tyler. I said, ooh, where's Chuck? When Chuck's going to wrestle somebody else, you got Rip Tyler. Now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to be in a real fight, a real wrestler who's about my size. And sure enough, we said, go talk to Rip. Talk to Rip. I said, go talk to him. He might hit me. I'm talking about it. I don't know who this guy is. Whenever Rip said, hey, how you doing? So listen, we'll do this, deal with it. And I said, you're telling me that this is sort of like, not real? He said, well, it's real. It's just working out where we don't kill each other. At the end of it, I'll tell you what we're going to do. That's what we do. Okay. In the meantime, we just get out there and roll around and do some crazy stuff. Just follow my lead. It's okay. So we did our matches, and he said, did a good job. And I felt so relieved to know that the guy's not out there to punch me out. I just realized. But after after that, went about a year with that. The company went out of business. I did some independent matches, took some odd jobs, sales, and stuff like that. Finally, in '83, my dad got sick. I had to move back to North Carolina. I was down in South Carolina. Back to North Carolina to help out around the house. I needed some help. And there, sure enough, was on the radio coming down the highway was, "I want to be a wrestler." I've heard this before. Oh, my goodness. It was the NWA, and they said, try out at the where'd you go? There you go. Okay. They try out in Charlotte, North Carolina. Went down and tried Charlotte, North Carolina. 40 more guys there. We went at it hard as we could. They just do all these crazy things. At the end of it, had to get in the ring with Mike Rotundo and Jerry Briscoe. And those guys I had known. I said, Mike Rotundo is the tax man in the WWF.
Yeah.
He just left Syracuse. University, finished the season. This guy was put together. I mean, he was in shape. And they got me in the ring and asked me to in the ring with him. I said, okay. So, well, get out of referee's position. I had knee surgery scheduled that Thursday. I said, well, watch my right knee. It's in bad shape. He said, shut up and get down. Okay. We got that match. So I got down, did a couple of wrestling moves. He didn't like the fact I knew how to wrestle. I tried to do a few things to me. Nothing bad, but just some small things. Kept trying to get to a cross face. I kept countering the cross face. Jerry Briscoe said, let me have a little bit of it. Crawls out, Briscoe gets in it. I'd watched Briscoe when I was a young boy. Now, this guy knows what he's doing. He said, stand up, we don't lock up. We locked up like amateur wrestlers. And we try to take each other down. And next thing you know, I go to my back, he's on top of me. We're squeezing the crap out of each other. That's hurt. He's hurting me, I'm hurting him. And finally, he kind of whispers to me, tell you what, kid, you let go, I'll let go. So I trust him. I let go. He let go, stood up and said, good match. He said, Rotundo said, I want some more of it. So, got me again. This time, Rotundo charged me. I rolled on my back. I waited the last second, flipped him over on top, and I slapped the mat 3 times fast. I said, gotcha. I crawled out of the ring. Get back in the ring. I said, nope, I get back. So, the Andersons saw me and they said, listen, give us a call next Thursday. I showed up next Thursday in the office. They offered me a position. It'll be October before you start working out, do some stuff. And my first match with the Crockett's was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, against the our mascots, Hercules Hernandez and Jody, the grapplers. Hercules Hernandez.
Oh, the Assassins.
I never been. Yeah, the Assassins. And he grabbed me by the wrist and pulled me across the ring. I'll tell you something. Everybody tells you it's on, put on. That boy grabbed me. I couldn't have stopped if I had to. My life depended on it. He gave me one little jerk with that thing. I'm to the ropes, come back off. He presses me about 3 times later. Throws me off. 1, 2, 3 pins. I'm like, Lord, I got to start lifting weights. These guys were strong. He was massive, strong. A really good guy, nice guy. Of course, he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
That was my first experience. And then I did another 13 years in wrestling. About 1993, I decided to quit because I got clocked one time. Don't remember the match. And every time I started hitting the ground, I started seeing stars. I said, I think I got a concussion. So I'm not stupid. Your brain's your brain. And I didn't want to damage my brain anymore. It already is. Some people say you've done too much. So, that's basically how I got involved. And it was just like, most people say, how'd you get in? I said, I tried out. All I did was try it.
Yeah, that's true. Now, who came up with the Thunderfoot gimmick?
Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes, I was wrestling on a regular basis. I had torn my pec in a match, which was only fake match. A guy dropped the knee, popped my chest. It was a big old split me right open. Had to have surgery the following week. And, it took me a while. track, I refereed for about a year. And I learned a lot more refereeing than I did wrestling. I learned these guys how they set things. Just the professionalism and the artistic value they bring to the ring. Everybody thinks you just get out there and bounce around. It's an art, believe me. And the ones that are better at the art is the ones that are good. There's some that couldn't wrestle away out of a wet paper bag and get receipts. There's some that can wrestle better than anybody and nobody really cares to come see it. But I've been refereeing and came back to the office and Dusty Rhodes said, come here, you and Joel come in here. I need two guys they can trust. Because Joel was getting on board and I didn't party any. So we need y'all to go to Kansas City, Kansas. Wow. Oh, dude, let's go. He said, we'll fly you out there. You're going to be the Thunderfist. We'll get you a couple of suits made for you. They already had them made up for us. They're going to find somebody to get us too. And got to fly all the way out to Kansas City, wrestle these two little guys, the Mexican guys who were being Indians. They looked like Indians. They were Mexican. Nice guys. And they told us to beat them fast. Get over with in about 3 minutes. I felt bad about that because they were the champions. So we went out there, we went a little longer than 3 minutes. We didn't want to do it that bad because, it's insulting to the guy. You're going to take the title. They're going to give the title to you. Just make them look like nothing. So we gave him a little bit, made him look strong, and we beat him a trick. Loaded the boot up, knocked him out. So they saved their grace because we cheated to beat him. And that's how you do it. Bad guy never wins, clear out. Good guy never loses unless he gets cheated. That's the whole premise of professional wrestling when I was growing up. Good guy never wins, a good guy never loses, the bad guy never wins. You always have to cheat. The good guy always gets cheated. That wasn't fair. Because you wouldn't pay for another ticket. Man, he got cheated. Or a rematch. I'm going to rematch. Coming back. Bad guy cheated. We'll catch you this time. That's the whole theory behind it.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. That's how we got out there. Wrestled out there for about 3 or 4 months. And we hated it. We were on the road 150 miles every day, one way, 150 miles back. Everywhere we went. Long drive. Back and forth. Getting paid $50, $65 a night. No kind of money. Occasionally we get a $75 a night. Oh, we're rolling, buddy. But we had to get an apartment. Two guys in one apartment. Apartments weren't cheap. We had to spend almost every dime we made on food, gas, and an apartment. You couldn't put any money away. But you were learning your craft. You were experiencing things. That's people say, "I'll be a movie star." Well, you gotta wait some time before you become you gotta clean some buildings and stuff. Well, what we do is you had to go to territory like that, and you didn't make any money really. Just paid your bills, but you learned so much. They bring us some stars occasionally, and you know what they were doing? Just to get the territory built up a little bit. By the time we left, the territory was doing pretty good. We were making more money. They said, "We want y'all back in Charlotte." We got some training out there, learning every day in the ring. And now we can come to Charlotte, where now we can step up to the big boy platform because we have a better idea of what we're doing. We got back, and I didn't understand the business, the politics of the business at all, but we got back in Greenville, South Carolina, which was a very hot territory at the time. And TV tapings and all that stuff. So we step out of there, and we didn't realize the people had been watching VHS replays of Kansas City in Greenville, South Carolina, because they were using that as commercial stuff type. They had us on there every so often. We get there thinking nobody had ever heard of us before. We were in Kansas City, now we're in Greenville, South Carolina. We stepped out from the curtain. We got the biggest boos we ever heard. And my partner Joel said, "We're screwed." That's what he mean. You hear all that? That's called heat. Heat's what you want as a bad guy. We got more heat than the stars do right now. They'll never let us have more heat. What? They're going to split us up. Sure enough, I had about another couple more tag team matches. That point on was Thunderfoot 1, wrestling 1-on-1, and Thunderfoot 2, wrestling 1-on-1. And that's how it went. So we got to the Crockett Cup in Baltimore. They put us in a tag team match. The footer missed the kick. And kind of of messed the whole thing up. At that point on, we just started just kind of guys that were just mid-range wrestlers. Probably could have been better than that, but I was grateful for whatever I got. I was enjoying myself, traveling around the country. Got to go to Japan and Australia with a couple other groups.
Mm-hmm.
That was worth the whole thing.
So you mentioned before that you worked for IWA. What was it like working for Angelo?
Yeah, I worked for Angelo. I worked with Johnny Powers.
Oh,
Johnny Powers took over the IWA.
Oh, after Angelo? Or...
Yes, this was 1976, 77.
Oh, are you... Wait.
IWA apparently had gone through some changes. And Bulldog Brower was one of the main guys, and Johnny Powers was the head booker. He was the head guy.
Are you talking about Montreal? IWA Montreal?
It was called the International Wrestling Association. It was out of North America. He was from Canada. I don't know where he's from. I met his family. But I didn't keep up with all the personalities of wrestling. I just think my favorites, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, things like that. When I got into it, I didn't know anything about this other group. And IWA was like, who are these guys? Now, I had met the IWA before. When it first came, back in 74, they stood off the WWF and were in Kings Mountain doing team tapings. Kings Mountain, North Carolina. And I was still in college. I was refereeing high school wrestling, and I met Rip Hawk. Rip Hawk of the Sweet Hands Rip Hawk. I'm sitting there, we just seen him wrestle in Greensboro week before when Rip Hawk Bruiser leaves town. And it's Rip Hawk versus Sweet Hands. They had a split, and Rip Hawk lost. So I'm sitting there refereeing a high school wrestling match as a senior high school, senior college, and I'm refereeing this match. And sure enough, the young lady said, "Look up there! Isn't that a guy who just saw wrestling the other night?" I said, "That's Rip Hawk. Oh my gosh, what's he doing here?" His son was wrestling for Charlotte Catholic, and I was refereeing it with his son out there at home. His son did a good job. And it's got real fast. And he went to me and said, "Hey, Mr. Red, you don't think about being a professional wrestler?" I said, "Well, I never thought about that. I'm too small." He said, "Well, we can put some deal on." He said, "Being in Kings Mountain next weekend, I'll get you tickets to get in." So I showed up to Kings Mountain. It's only about 10 miles down the road. And went in there, and he introduced me to one of the Cannonball guys, had the Kangaroos, had Red McCord, had just started them. And a couple of other guys. Big stars. That's when Tommy Rich, referee, he was actually wrestling that night. He was a wrestler, but they said, "You got a referee." He's a good thing because he was the best referee ever seen. Tommy Young. I'm sorry, Tommy Young. Tommy Young.
Yeah, he was a good referee.
He did all the main events.
Yeah.
Tommy Young had the main event.
So, did you ever get the chance to work up with Vince, or just down with the Crockett's?
We had to go to Vince. There were so many injuries in the WWF. This wasn't. They were having so many injuries. They had to look for guys. They had a lot of guys that didn't know what they were doing. And they were running through all their good guys that had some type of talent. But they had worn them out and beat them so badly that these new guys coming over suits used to have steroids. They were clocking guys. I'm talking about clocking. And guys were like, we're not supposed to try to kill each other. We're trying to have a match and promote you. I'm going to make you a star. Now the guy's going to help you get there. And all of a sudden, you go off through the profile by taking my head off. Guess what? I ain't coming back next week. That's what a lot of guys weren't doing. They were injured. Or they were afraid to come back because the other guys, the stars, not all the stars, just a few, were not considered for who they were wrestling. They looked at them as down, piece of crap sort of thing. Understanding that we're the guys that make you look good. We can make you look terrible. You couldn't body slam me if you wanted to. I can make it look maybe struggling to pick me up. But I go up because I want you to look good. But you ain't supposed to drop me on my head. Make me hurt. So some of the guys got hurt. They got about 20 of us to fly up there from the Crockett's. And the Crockett's loaned us down. We went up there. We found out why they were getting hurt. But the difference between us is I had a bunch of constables. Well, they put me in charge of it because I was the only one that didn't party. And they said, listen, you're in charge. I said, okay. So one of the boozer guys came up to me and said, all right, $150 a night and free food and buffet, the whole thing, $150 a night. Here's your money. Go pay your guys. So after they finished wrestling, I paid them $150. No, they got it 5 minutes, $150. That's all they had to do. After all the guys got paid, I got my $150. I looked at it, I got about $600 more. Like, somebody miscounted. So I take it back. And the guy said, listen, you almost miscounted. There's $600 here that doesn't go. The guy says, let me see that. He said, it's yours. I said, no, I got $150. I got my $150. He said, no, I was just checking to make sure you're honest. So he was checking me out. That was just a little trick they did. He said, no, you helped put everything together up here, so we're going to give you a bonus. I'll take it. So we had to wrestle for about a week or so doing that. The guys, hotels, all that stuff, stay there. But it was great, but there was a lot of crazy stuff going on. We had the British Bulldogs having their little rift with somebody. They got a big fight. They were doing tricks, cutting each other's ties, cutting their shorts off, stuff like that. Somebody got mad. Done the wrong thing. So next thing you know, somebody had their dumbbells out and tried to pop somebody's head. He was on. He got knocked down. They had to wrestle that night. They didn't go. They had to call the cops. Afraid somebody was going to jail.
Wow.
They're going to kill each other. That was behind the scenes. I said, these people are crazy. Sean, we're just trying to earn a living, right? Up there, they're trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
The match was so hard in the boxing ring. Boxing ring's so big. You hit that thing, it's thunk. You had a rubber pad, and I'll tell you something. Falling on a piece of hard concrete or rubber on top of it hurts. And people get hurt left and right. They brought us down there for 2 weeks, and they wanted us to come back. And we politely told the boss, we're not going back. These people are crazy. We don't have any of us left. We all came back bruised and battered because they were not that they were tougher than our guys. It's just that the match was hard. They were hitting us as hard as they could, and not. And by some of our guys, I said, "Listen, they hit you hard, smack them back." So a few of our guys fired off on them. A few punches in the belly they weren't expecting. But they weren't used to having that. Some guys that were just kind of like wet noodles. And we had some guys who were pretty good athletes. And also a few hard punches to the gut. Whoa, we'll get your butt kicked on TV and you're strong. We had guys that would get beat every night that could whoop most of them. Right. They were good wrestlers and old country boys that knew how to fight. But they were just trying to have a good time doing this too.
Mm-hmm.
They found that we were stuck a little bit. We left, we decided not to go back again. It was too much. They just weren't taking care of us at all. The company did a good job of taking care of us, fed us, paid us, all that stuff. But some of the guys were just so amped up on steroids. And I don't think they were, purpose to hurt us. It's just that they hit you. You couldn't help but throw in a 400-pound. Oh, dude. It hurt. I don't think they knew how to work the system. They were just out there going as hard as they could and not realizing that we're all 30, 33, 34, 35-year-old men in here. Butts going around all as far as that. They didn't fall down a lot. We did. So,
that's true.
Things like that.
Now, if you don't mind, I would like to, pull some people, some names for your career and get your thoughts on them. I would like to go through some names that you maybe worked with during your career and get your thoughts on them.
Let's see. I tell a cute story about how I pinned Ric Flair.
Go ahead. floor is yours.
They say, well, how'd you do that? I said, well, he was wrestling somebody one night, and I was refereeing, and I sat back 3 times. Okay? My opinion. I didn't wrestle a pin. I refereed a pin. I stretched the story out and make it look like I wrestled. Wrestling against Dustin Rhodes, and I sat back 3 times against Dustin Rhodes. He got pinned. And then they reversed him. Stuff like that. But he was always very, very phenomenal way of wrestling. One of the great guys in wrestling. Dustin was good. He could hold out legs, a great guy. Sting, good guy. I mean, they were very, very good guys. Wahoo McDaniels, chops, hurt. It's Sting. I mean, you see Ric Flair's chest bleeding from being hit by chops from Wahoo. You know they hurt. He don't try to make a loud clap. He just hits you real hard. It hurt. It makes a loud noise when he hits you. And I wrestled so many different guys. I wrestled all the divisions. Rock and Roll Express, the most fun to work with. Gosh, I was refereeing a match one night against Rock and Roll versus Midnight Express, and 2 of them had bad gas. I mean, I'm talking about and what they would do is they would wrestle, get down, take a guy over, lay there, and they would just let out a big old tooth. Woo! Stick up the ring like crazy. And we'd get up all the way, clear the area. And we were doing it the whole time, just making us laugh. We're trying to be serious, and they're making us laugh. And it's like, we couldn't stay in the ring because it just stunk so bad. And they're laughing at each other because it could make the stinkiest thing. Come on, guys, quit, man. We won't be able to finish the match. People be gassed and laying on the floor out here. That was some of the best fun. Cornette was the best talker there was. He could talk about that. The Garvins, amazing, great. Ronnie Garvin, Ron had a guy with hands of stone. He had hands of stone. He could knock you out like that. He was tough. He's still tough. You don't want to fight with him. He was a tough guy. But we had some guys that were just amazingly talented. And Dory Funk, Funk Brothers, all of them guys, they were just. I was blessed to work with such guys that had such great talent, such a great background. Look at this, they were little boys. They were family raised. And we brought up the family. It's a part of your culture. Me, I just jumped in because I like being a wrestler. And I told the guy when I first got in, I said, listen, I don't expect to be a star. I'm 33 years old. I just want to make some money and enjoy myself and learn some, have a little bucket list I can check off. All right, so that's why they hired me. I didn't have an agenda. I wasn't trying to become a superstar. I was just trying to make the company grow. That's what it's all about.
What was, you talking about your time in Mid-Atlantic made me think of, were you aware of wrestling in 1975, right?
75, 76, just about a year. That was with the International Wrestling Association with Kangaroos, not Kangaroos, but Vino Bravo and not Bill Mascaris, he already left. But Bulldog Brower and Johnny Powers, Carl von Stroheim, they were all, that was the main crew.
Mm-hmm.
Vino Bravo, he was there. Vino left. He got killed a few years later. Surprised me. Vino was a nice guy, he's just wrong people.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
They like something. So, we had a lot of stars that way. Went to Japan. Japan was good. I was a month in Japan. They had to wrestle against some great Japanese wrestlers. Had to see them. Everybody over there was amazing fans. Great people. Love them.
Were you in Japan before New Japan or after New Japan was formed?
I was there when the Giant Mama was in Japan. He was the main.
Oh, so you worked in All Japan.
He was kind of skinny arm. And when he was a young guy, he was a big guy. But by the time he already got old, but Baba stuck that foot up. He went down like a ton of bricks. That was Baba.
Yeah.
He was considered like a god over there. He was a man. A great guy. Well, met us, all kind of stuff. Really good to us. And, miss him a lot. I wrestled my first day there. I had to wrestle some different guys. Then I had to wrestle one guy that was not a Pan Am champion. He was a Japanese, Korean, Chinese, Russian type thing they have over there. Like we have the Pan Am games down here in Mexico and all the area, America, Canada. Over they have a golden circle or something like that. Where these guys were Olympic wrestlers. This one guy was stud. I thought all Japanese guys were kind of small. This guy was like a Samoan. He was like a big dude. So Stan Hansen, I know you know that name. Stan Hansen told me, he said, Ligon, you can't be a nice guy out there. Well, he said, you got to tell them off the bat. They can't go jump. So what am I supposed to do? They don't speak English. He said, they're going to lock up with you. He's going to take you to corner problem. He's going to haul off and hit you so hard in the chest, and then he's going to walk away and bow down to you. That's their little way of saying, what you got. What am I supposed to do? He said, you do the same thing back to him, but do it twice as hard. Okay. So we locked up. He took me to the rope. Backed off. He bowed down. Okay. Here we go. Locked up again. Took me to the rope. Backed off. All of a sudden, here comes this big old fat hand of his right across my chest. I mean, it about made me hit so hard. I said, holy cow. And it stung. It stung. I had a big old welt on my chest. He backed off and went, bow down with a big smile on his face. His hands out like, your turn. I looked at Stan, and Stan's over going, do it. Do it. All right, so I locked up with him, took him over there in the ropes, bowed down to him, backed him off ropes again. He laid his chest open for me to hit him. And I hauled off and hit his hard. I thought about broke my arm. I hit him so hard. He stung. And he went, he looked at me, bowed down to me. We locked up. And it was like a dance the rest of the night. It was just so easy. It's like, it's like, they win, of course, because you have to beat the Americans. I crawled out of the ring and got back to the dressing room, and Stan said, you done good. We'll have a bit of problems for the rest of the month. If I hadn't done that, they'd have been looking for ways to, make it rough on them. Because I popped the head dude. He went back to the dressing room and said, well, don't mess with him. It's hot. So we had a good matches from that point on, because you have to demand respect. And command it. To do that, I probably had a long 30 days. But it was a good 30 days.
Yeah.
Stan Hansen, tough son of a gun, buddy. Nobody messes with Stan Hansen.
My last question is, what was the reaction of wrestlers in wrestling about the plane crash in 1975 with Dave Crockett, Ric Flair, Johnny Valentine?
Well, that was about 6 years earlier than I did it. They were, Ric Flair could have been killed. Johnny Valentine actually, they said, protected everybody. Jimmy Valentine, he actually protected everybody. He put his legs up and pressed against the thing, and all the weight hit him in the back, hurt his lower back, and that's why he couldn't walk. He actually saved a lot of lives. And Rick, if you ever notice the back of Rick's back, there's a little hole in the right scapula area that sometimes swells up a little bit. It's got a little bit of a red mark there, and that's where he got penetrated by something in the plane crash, which injured him right there. And that was, I was watching on TV when I heard all about it. I wasn't interested. I was just kind of like a fan. I said, oh man, Ric Flair might get killed and all this stuff like that. But to hear the stories how, Johnny Valentine had saved their lives. I never met Johnny. seen Johnny when I was in college. He came to Shelby, North Carolina to wrestle. And Don Kernoodle was wrestling. And I mean, we had all these rednecks there at the match knowing this gym. And he come walking out. People, boo, boo, boo. He stood there in that black robe over, and blonde hair. And this couple of guys stood up and threatened to hit him. He walks over to him and leans into him and sticks his jaw out there with his hands behind his back and said, "Go ahead, there you go." Got in the ring, and everybody was scared of him. But he was really a very nice man. But he had the persona of, he hit you with that forearm, whew, knock you right out. Like, it was tough. He wasn't a big man. He was just a lean built guy. He wasn't like 300 pounds, 250 pounds. He was like 210, 215. A big guy after all.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you, the viewer, enjoyed this video, leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Thank you, Gene, for joining me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, Michael, nice talking to you. You seem like a great guy. Stay in touch with me. Check out my company. Tell everybody about it. If they want to go to my Thunderfoot page or my Gene Ligon page, I work with that company. I enjoy using clean products, which, believe me, make it last a little longer in this world. Take proteins and all the vitamins they have, too.
Mm-hmm. Well,
good seeing you. I expect to hear more from you.
Nice to see you, too. I'll keep in touch.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye now.
See you later.